writing, Magito, there? You
I
wrote a
don't know.
reader?
I want to write the consumer producer thing, but I want the book, the Kafka book.
No. Is there a chapter about that? I think there is
I
a
don't
subsection.
know. That's what I want to consult. Let me get it here.
No, there is I think at least a subsection. Let me check.
By the way, hello,
The
future
cover of
people.
this book, man, makes me depressed.
Hello, future people, and
S-
yeah, I understand that it makes you depressed. I understand.
Serialization, replication and acknowledgements,
Um,
broker. So Kafka is configured in Zookeeper, right, which is the broker,
mhm.
which is the thing that does. Okay, let's see how the experts define it. Okay, Zookeeper. I know what it does roughly, but I want to. What is it?
I'm trying to
Here,
find the example of the
Apache Kafka
producer.
architecture. Let's see. Let's thank you website. There we go.
Wait,
Is this
I
a
think you should
course?
need to swap the screen because of Wayland.
I do. Well, I am not. I wasn't planning to show that
Security.
anyway, but I
Wait,
just
there's
want a
no
diagram, man.
subsection about this? Am I tripping?
Here, perfect. So I'll send here.
Oh, there is a. I found it. Page 24. Cool.
I want to open the image, man. This.
Okay, let me check.
So we have a producer, multiple consumers, and the consumers target a partition or multiple partitions. And then you have the broker, and then the producer writes directly to the Kafka topic. So in this architecture, what's the point of the producer, of the broker? Like none, basically, from the diagram.
Yeah, from the diagram we cannot deduce what is the purpose of
Here,
that.
let me read. The main vehicle for this movement of data is the Kafka broker. The Kafka broker handles all requests from clients, both producers and consumers, as well as metadata. It also manages replication of data across the cluster, as well as within topics and partitions. Kafka topics. My voice is terrible today, as if it was any good before, right? Uh, a Kafka topic is a grouping of messages that is used to organize messages for production and consumption. A producer places messages or records onto a given topic. Then, a consumer reads that record from the same topic. A topic is further broken down into partitions that house the number of records, each identified as a unique offset in a partition log. What
So,
is then Apache Zookeeper? Zookeeper is utilized by several open source projects to provide a highly reliable control plane for distributed coordination of clustered applications through a hierarchical key value store. The suite, so it's a database basically. So it's a distributed key value storage crappy DBMS.
okay,
The
but
suite
the
of services.
one second,
Oh,
Magito,
sorry.
because I just wanted to point it out that basically the difference between a broker and a topic is that a broker is basically an administration layer for all the topics and all the producers and all the consumers. And the topic, I still
Yeah.
don't understand why we need a differentiation between a topic and a partition yet. But the
The topic
topic,
is by context. The partition is within a topic to differentiate the how you are dividing the data in that topic.
how we are dividing the data in the
Like
topic.
topic ABC. Like I don't know. Uh, think of a billing system, right? Uh, you receive you receive billings, and then you need to generate invoices, right? So the billings come from a topic, and you are the invoicing system. Uh, you basically consume stuff fine, so you are the consumer in that part, but to publish you can choose to publish on another topic instead of like publishing on the same like billing topic. You publish on invoices, and then on invoices you
Ah.
have partitions on that.
Yeah,
that
but couldn't
if all
you?
of them are just monotonically increasing, but they're not. They're just splattered all
Yeah,
over
but
the place.
couldn't you make instead of different partitions, different topics?
You could, but why?
No, my question is exactly that. What exactly are you gaining by adding a Kafka topic instead of only partitions?
It's. I think you're trying to make a dichotomy on something that is not the same thing.
No, but I
The
don't know if they are the same
topic
thing. That's my question.
a topic is just a logical separation of messages. Actually, physical too. It's just a different queue that's pipelining all the data you get. And then you have topics which are multiple queues inside this other big container. So the topic is just a container, and then you have optionally many partitions inside this container.
No, I understand that. I understand that you have containers and partitions inside the container. What I'm still maybe it's a lack of understanding issue. What are you gaining by having the container? Why not only have partitions?
Oh, it's just organization.
Oh, okay.
Why would you have multiple things splattered all over the place?
Because you're gonna have that anyway. You're gonna have many topics.
You're gonna have multiple topics, and then you subscribe to one topic, and then you can consume multiple partitions in that topic.
Oh, okay.
It's different from consuming many topics for getting the same entity.
Ah, okay. I
Like the
see.
difference is this. Let me write here. So you have okay. So topics. It's this, and then you're gonna have one topic here that is like I don't know. ABC. I'll put something invoicing, and then you're gonna make invoicing one in the first approach. In, invoicing two and invoicing three.
You can tell Magetta hates it because it's one based.
And then you just have this. And this is where it goes the actual message.
Okay, so the separation between having many topics with many partitions instead of only having many partitions just for organization then. Okay.
Well, architecturally, I don't see anything making any difference. But but why am I pressing this? Because they fulfill different roles. Like you're trying to mess both on the same. They are different things.
No, they apparently they are different things, but that's what I'm trying to learn because I don't remember this from the book anymore. Maybe
Like
because
the
it's
question is analogous to this. Imagine if I have a Postgres database. Like okay, the term database is overloaded, right? So you have Postgres, which is a RDBMS. It's not necessarily a database in the same terms as a logical database. And then
sure.
you have the logical object inside the thing that holds the schemas, which is what Postgres calls database. And then inside of that, you have your multiple schemas with your tables, right?
Sure.
So the question would be, why would I have multiple tables in multiple schemas inside one database if I can have all these schemas in the like one per each database, like one to one.
Oh, so if that's the
That's
comparison, there is a semantical difference then. It's not only for separation, it's because they are semantically separate.
and I don't know if they give any options. I don't think so. I never tweaked with that, but probably not. It's more retarded than it looks. But I think you could separate by partitions, like where they are hosted in a cluster. But I'm not sure if you have that ability on Zookeeper to configure this.
I see.
Because Zookeeper is just a generic garbage that Kafka is running on top of with an API. And then, okay, let me guess, okay? Let me guess. Probably Hadoop and some other like cargo culting garbage also runs on it. Like Hadoop, I don't know, Spark, all these things that came and died on the path like painfully probably are inside of this because it's an Apache project and it's a It's managing distributed garbage.
Okay.
And I already cursed way much on this string. I just
Oh yeah.
noticed. Oh, the guy's saying topic configuration. Whatever.
Okay, but going back to what you were reading before. So you were starting to read about the zookeeper, I think.
Yeah, it's actually an article comparing RabbitMQ with Kafka.
Wow.
Performance. I'm sorry.
I'll be right back, real quick.
People are using Kafka to write systems with 4 requests per second, man. No one cares. Actually, less. I've seen way less. As I already previously told here.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, but I think this image that you got, this is already enough for us to get started, right?
I think so, yes.
So we need.
Oh, here. How does Zookeeper work? Let's see. Because what we need to do is this core, right? This is the heart of it.
Sure.
The data within Zookeeper is divided across multiple collections of nodes, and this is how it archives its highly availability and consistency. In case a node fails, Zookeeper can perform instant failover migration. Example, if a leader node fails, a new one is selected in real time by pulling within an ensemble. A client connecting to the server can query a different node, so you have different brokers, right? You
So it's like
can.
Raft then.
Yes, it's like solving the Byzantine problem. So it's selecting a new general in this
Yeah.
case. Okay, so what about we start with that? That's an interesting
Making
problem, at
Raft?
least. Somewhat useless most of the time, but an interesting problem.
Wait, you're talking about the general problem?
Yeah,
So you were
actually, doing
proposing
the
making
machinery
Raft.
for that. I don't want to solve it today.
But how are
But,
you gonna solve it? Using Raft or what do we
well,
have
we're
else to do?
surely going to have to implement some algorithm like Raft, at least.
Sure.
But I want to do the machinery today. So let's start by writing a broker.
And by the
Let's call
way,
broker.
if this is gonna make your night better, you can go to Emacs if you want. So then you have
Oh,
your.
I think the SML mode actually is it's better here
Oh really?
because of the indentation. Like I need to type stuff with. I mean, I can go to Emacs, but I need to type stuff with semicolon whenever I end the line, which is very annoying.
Mm. Okay, so you said that you want to do the machinery. Let's list what are we calling machinery. Are we
So the
reader?
broker will have signature, structure, broker. So what the broker will have? The broker should certainly have a.
A map of
Let's think of
topics?
the behavior, and from the behavior we drag on the data. So we need to make something that spreads over a network and can communicate with other things via some protocol. And then when it sees that a new thing is alive, it can now interface and communicate with that. So we need some sort of uh, server first, right? So I think that's the entry point. So let's call this entry point for now.
Sure.
And how the heck we're gonna do this? I think it will be. It's not just about spawning a process, right? We need to make this guy halt because we're gonna have multiple instances of this running, and they're gonna just communicate with each other. So it's kind of a RPC communication.
Yeah.
We are free to do whatever we want. So we can do XML if we want. We can do YAML over the internet if we want.
We should probably do XML.
I'm
Why
back.
not YAML?
Uh,
Why
Just
don't we
imagine sending YAML to the internet.
why don't we just use plain S expressions? They are easy to
Mm,
parse.
We can, yes. I mean, assuming that we have a parser for S expressions.
Do we have a parser for anything in SML?
We do for SML and C.
Huh.
And I think XML and JSON as well. They are already inbuilt.
We
Let's see
should
if
do
I.
XML then.
Yeah, it's already here. Ta-da!
Okay, so Marinho, while you were away, I was discussing with Mageta what we are gonna call the machinery, right? So basically the engine that will do the. I think Mageta wants to focus now on the distributed part of it. So the broker needs to be some sort of a server because the broker they talk to themselves in a using some sort of protocol that could be REST instead of RPC. Um, and stuff like that. But I have a question though. When a broker is off and you need to detect the new general, all the brokers will have access to all the topics, or each broker has their own set of topics?
Wait, repeat the question. I don't know if I
Yes.
got you.
So my understanding, and maybe this is a very silly question, but I don't know this domain yet, so I apologize. So my question is, my understanding of a distributed system is that the distributed part of it is that depending on multiple factors such as the location and the latency and all that stuff,
Hmm.
you're gonna communicate with a different server that is connected to all the other servers. Is that correct?
You're gonna communicate with a different server. Other yes.
Okay. So next question: if you're gonna communicate with different servers, should you always get the same data out of the different servers that you are communicating to?
Should I always get the same data? What do you mean by the same data?
So if I'm doing in a SQL query and I'm communicating with the São Paulo server and I am communicating with the Colombia server, I should retrieve the
Mhm.
same data from both of them, right?
Depends. No.
No. Okay.
Like, what is the data? That's what I want to know. Because if it's like just like communication data, then yes, they should have the same kind of protocol, right? So they can communicate. But I don't think that's what you're saying. I think what you're saying is a distributed consistency
Yes.
architecture, right?
Yes.
This is a this is a uh, this is a availability and partitioned uh, schema. We could ignore altogether. I kind of have my take on this, but we could ditch. Like, I don't think you can ditch consistency. Like, there's very little cases where it would even make sense for you to do it. Certainly not on calculating a bill, right? Certainly not that case.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking here, like, we could make something more interesting, like what you just said about processing instead of doing a thing that just tries to do like be available to write garbage across the globe. We try to be consistent and write the same thing across multiple nodes, right?
Yeah.
That would
No.
make it much more useful for a RDBMS like Racket Tower, for
No.
example.
Yeah. I understand that. But I'm asking this because my understanding is that each particular broker, they have their own specific topics that they are holding. That means that if I communicate with a different broker, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna get the same data because not all the brokers have all the same
Yes.
topics.
Well, that's where the partitions come in, right? They will probably have different partitions, like distributed on them. That's the whole point of like doing this distributed game. You're splitting the data across all the globe with some guarantees, like for example, that it will be totally ordered in that case.
Okay, but in the case that I'm asking for some data and the broker doesn't have it, that particular one that I'm communicating,
It
then
has
the
to
broker
go
needs
get
to go
somewhere.
and ask somebody else to retrieve the data for
Well,
me.
depends. You're assuming that you're doing a SQL query. You don't do this on
Okay,
Kafka,
let's
right?
change it then. I want to consume stuff from a topic, right?
Yeah, you need to consume everything.
I need to consume
You need to go
everything.
from to the top. Like you have 10 partitions. You need to go from partition 0 to partition 10. Consume everything so you can find it, or until you find it, right?
Yeah, that part is related to my question. Until you find it, that means that the brokers need to communicate among themselves because I'm asking for a particular partition and a partition in a particular
Well,
topic.
it's the duty of the client to go through these partitions. Like the
Oh,
broker, which would be the thing at top of it, would probably be smart to redirect, right, the request of the callee to the thing that actually has that partition. But it's your duty to
ah.
consume it. It doesn't know anything.
No, no, that
It
the
just
part of the
knows where
consumption I
things are.
understand. But you said something interesting. So it's the broker needs to redirect to the correct broker if it identifies
To
that I'm
correct.
asking for something that is not available there.
No, wait. Your point, man, is something that is not available. That's the partition, right? So you're requesting for a partition that is not hosted there.
In that
That's
specific
the thing.
broker. It's not hosted there,
Yes,
yes.
exactly. So
Um,
that's it. Let's test this. Let's see if it works.
okay, I
If
have
it
questions about
doesn't,
this though. What the heck is this? Why is there a
I.
parenthesis surrounding everything?
So let me just try to run this real quick, and then I will explain. I kind of don't like this syntax, to be very honest.
Which syntax XML?
Yeah, this syntax they use for like scope. Uh, Error. Structure process has not been declared. What do you mean, brother?
Exceptions, fail static errors raised.
What do you mean structure test is not? This is the standard library. The heck? This is not the same thing. It is. Okay, so it is crazy.
Judgment. It is crazy, in fact.
It is. Okay, so let me make one to execute our stuff so we don't have to keep compiling. Well, I will have to keep compiling, but something different. So this, we generate the
Okay,
output,
Marinho, did you
and
get my
then
question?
Yeah, you were basically asking about what to do in case of a partition.
Well, not well. It's that, but a little bit further. So I'm connected to the system, and I'm asking to partition whatever, but the broker that I'm communicating doesn't have it. What should happen? And my understanding is that Mageta said that the broker should redirect the call to another broker that has that partition.
oh, it's something atop the broker, right? That's the
Oh, so that's what the zookeeper does then.
yes, that's what I just
Ah,
read here.
okay. So the zookeeper does the networking part of like, is this the correct broker? Okay.
What do you mean it doesn't exist? I just added it. Are you crazy?
Did you do git add? Git add dot?
Oh, if this and then this goes away, and then I need to add the
Comma
stupid
or
syntax
semicolon.
for Nix. Thank you, Nix. Okay, so let's go to the main now, and we're gonna do this.
We probably need to import some stuff. How do we import some stuff?
Well, we don't need it. It's already on the uh
Do you need to do like broker dot something?
yes, brokers. But why is it not getting the
Did you
file?
need to add stuff to the to some file for the LSP to work? I
I
remember
did.
that.
I already did actually. Well, let me just see one thing here. Am I doing something wrong and I dumb? Huh, I think it's just this, but I don't know why it's not showing.
Is it in plural? No, it's broker in singular.
Broker. Oh, broker. But yeah, it doesn't matter, right? So that has not been declared entry point. What do you mean?
Are you sure the
What do you mean?
build.sml file? No, but that doesn't matter. That's just LSP.
Oh no, actually it should be, this is to build. But it is here.
Does the order matter?
No, as far as I know, it shouldn't. I mean, let's try, but I don't think so. Ah. That. I don't think it does. Oh, it does, in fact. Okay.
Oh.
So this order here does matter.
Okay, so now how do you do mutual recursion between the files? Does it allow that?
Um, I don't think it does. No, you need
Oh.
to declare a higher file that has the mutual recursion between the objects you would declare that way, right?
Oh.
That's the only way I know how to do it here.
Okay, could you explain now why do we need the parentheses surrounding everything?
Yeah, let me just see. Okay, so this is like begin end. This is the scope. And why
Ah.
do I need that? Because it's expression based and these things return unit and
Mhm.
this is to accumulate the scope. It's not like sensitive by space, which is good because it's not like F sharp, which I hate, by the way, these things.
Yeah, we all hate, I think.
But I also hate this. I think this is not a good syntax. I would be much more happy if it was begin end. I would be happy with this. But anyway, uh, this is the syntax. And then you can put every expression, and then when you put a semicolon, that means capture the unit and discard it.
Yeah, so
I'm
it's kind of
expecting a
like
unit here.
OCaml. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the opposite then. OCaml is like this.
Just give me a sec.
Okay, so this is gonna be the server. Each broker will be a server.
Yes, just a sec. Okay. This is going to be the entry point that will start a node, right? A thing running. And then the plan is to run multiple of these, like for example here, and another one here, and then they can communicate somehow. So let's try to do something like that.
Will they
Oh
communicate
man.
among themselves directly, or are we gonna make the zookeeper as well?
Well. mm,
Well, to make this a bit more, I don't want to say realistic because it's not really realistic, but instead we'll have to store the messages at some point, right? Why don't we just write to a file and then the readers read from the file, just to keep things simple to start?
yeah. I'm just
Sure.
thinking of like what Lemos asked now. I think is different though, because here think of this: are we do we have a reason to allow the multiple processes to communicate amongst themselves? And my answer is if you don't have a layer atop of them that handles this, like because it's all consumer based, right? You go here and you pick this guy. You probably do have some communication to arrange, like actually maybe not even that. Because think of this: what's the guarantee that I know Kafka gives you? It's total order, right? It gives you that. Uh,
And just for the sake of
yes.
understanding, just to confirm that I am understanding things. Total order is when you can say that you can define the ordering between any arbitrarily pair of elements.
Let me pick this book here, by the way, from Michael. Do you know Michael Perry?
Um, I don't think so.
Uh, Here.
Harry the Platypus?
What? Sorry, Maninho?
Harry the Platypus is the thing that springs to mind from hearing the guy's name.
Yeah, never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither.
It's
It's a
this guy
character.
here.
It's a character from Phineas and Ferb.
Ah, that was old.
Okay.
Old.
Here.
Okay.
It's this guy here. He wrote this book that is very. I would say it's very clever if he wasn't just redefining everything that has been written on the past 30 years in database theory. But anyway, uh, the art of the immutable architecture. That's his main book. And then he gives a lot of like things that uh, are of interest there. And then one of the things that he says that he sustains in that, and I agree, is the problem of total versus partial order.
Yeah, but
Because
that's not
total order
a
implies
database thing, Mageta. That's a math thing.
that's a math thing, yes. Which is, well, it's actually relational theory if you think about it.
Well, I
Like
guess you can establish in those grounds, but as far as I can tell, you can make partial ordering is like a very broad stuff thing in math. Like you can.
it's a, well, that definition from math
Oh
is
yeah,
a relational correlational numbers, right? So that's the what I'm trying to say.
yeah. But total ordering is
Let me
that,
just
right?
look.
You can always find the ordering between two arbitrarily pair of elements, two elements of the set.
Yeah, all the set is ordered,
Yeah,
right?
and
So let me
partial is
get
when
here
you
and
have
I'll
some of
read.
those and not some of those.
Uh, Here, just give me a
Partial
sec.
ordering would be if you have a few elements that were different, they were not identical, but there's no ordering relationship between them. Like, if you ask what's their position in the order, it would be the same,
Yeah,
even
yeah,
though
yeah,
they are
yeah.
different.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, the book that I mentioned to you, Marinho, the one about the that I'm reading about the fixed point thing, it says that the two booleans and both the top and the bottom elements from like lambda calculus stuff, both of these sets are not or you can't order them. Who comes first, the false or the true? Which
Well,
is
you
which
can
is
make
true.
an arbitrary definition that one of them comes first.
No, but then you're gonna
Um,
have to make the definition. That's the thing.
And just think if we can change, like make a blessed Kafka, instead.
Make a blast.
I have hopes, man. I do have
you can
hopes.
call it Isaiah.
Oh man, thank you, man.
It's a double reference, and you will
Have
never
you
get the
watched
second one.
Brazil 1985?
No.
I also
I'll
don't.
send a scene here. I can't host it right on YouTube. Brazil 1985 office office scene. This scene here feels like a couple of companies that I know and a Kafkian dystopia we live in. I I would say it's not math because math is not concerned with relations. It's concerned with the study of a number. It is happen to be part of it on the matter of study numbers. So that's not the same thing.
Well, I
And
didn't
I don't get people
claim that.
boasting math as the supreme conscious of life. I don't get it. I see this all the time. I'm not saying Nathan is saying that, but I see that very surprisingly often. Like people just jamming. Oh, everything is just math. Like there was this discussion with a guy. It wasn't even discussion. I was just mentioning something that an observation I was making with a friend of mine. That most of the cultures on ancient world, they picked they had calendars, right? And all their calendars coincided in different ways with one another in terms of in esoteric meanings, right? So they took a lot of inspiration from the location they were in. So that's pretty solid, founded, right? So if you're on the same location and you look at the same stars, probably you're gonna end up with the same patterns, more or less, right? So that makes sense. Um, but if you're like a Tupi native, uh, looking at the stars are totally different because you're in another hemisphere, right? So it's a different idea.
Sure.
And then one of the observations that my friend made that I was flabbergasted, and I started researching on that. Uh, and then there are some meanings for that, right? In but all based in culture terms. All the divisions of the days of the week, like they divide weeks, right? So they can like basically weekly, because dividing a calendar in days is kind of counterproductive if you are just a plantation based society, right? So you're just planting, you like plants are not gonna grow in like 2 days, right? So it's the spacing of time is bigger usually. And then weeks is much better because it's the cycle of the moon, right? And then you can mark that by around 7 days, right? But all of them have a representation of that by planets and considering the sun and the moon as planets as well. So
Sure.
that was very interesting. And then the guy said, "Oh no, it's just math." And then I asked him, like, "Okay, what's explain to me what the math is around on choosing arbitrary days to separate
No,
what
but
you
that's
call a
not
week?"
math. That's a bad use case of that sentence.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like he had this idea of uh, just oh yeah, it's just math. But then when I asked him, "Okay, explain to me why that is just math," the guy doesn't know. He's just like, "Yeah, default to explain that it's just math." Like that makes no sense.
No, I'm not. Yeah, but when I said that, when Manatan also mentioned it, I don't think we we are trying to encourage the idea that everything is by default just math. No, but it just so happens that a lot of stuff that is very precisely defined is math.
You can mathematically encode stuff, which is different. That doesn't mean things are math.
Well, it depends
Math is a
on the
language.
language because the way that you define it right now, yes, but the meaning that I was portraying in my Natans as well, it is math.
Anyway, whatever. That's a discussion for later. Here,
So by
partial
math,
order.
you don't really mean a study of numbers, you mean a study of formal methods in general.
Yeah, yeah. Magetta was the first one that came to me saying that the study of numbers is the definition of, well, the study what math studies,
No,
which is
that's
not really.
numerology, right? That's something different.
Yeah, but what I meant was kind of like what Marinho said, which is
Study
um,
of quantity, whatever.
it's a broader thing. It's basically like there are many cancers to be solved, and they are all chemistry and medicine. It's all in that domain. That's what I meant.
Anyway, I'll go read here. So, partial order. The term partial order comes from mathematics as it's distinguished from the term full order. Start with a set of objects, be they numbers, words, science papers, data structures, what have you. Define comparison operation that tells you whether the object comes before another. We will typically use the less than symbol, to represent this operation. If for any pair of objects in this set, we can use the symbol to put one before the other, then the set is fully ordered. If we can only do that for some of the pairs, then it's partially ordered.
Yeah. So
So, as
that's
an
my understanding.
example, consider the set of counting numbers from the familiar definition of 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. So you can express a relation of 1 is less than 3, 3 is less than 17, and so on.
Yeah.
So you have a set, right? A relational set that has the the this other that contains another set that you're going to use and an operator, right? So it's that the definition. So you can define an order of like uh, integers and less than. You can define an order with strings and uh, alphabetic ordering. Right?
Lexicographical sorting.
Yeah.
I
In
prefer
fact,
short lex myself, but I'm weird.
I will skip because I think everybody knows this.
Yeah, no. I just wanted to confirm if my understanding was correct.
Here, the way in which historical modeling puts facts into a partial order is to identify predecessors. For each fact, a historical model makes explicit which other facts must have come before. These aren't simply the list of all the other facts that have occurred earlier in time that would put facts into a sequence, a total order. Instead, predecessors are facts that must have happened before in order to make the current fact make sense.
Yep.
So it's a thing that depends on its context, right? Basically.
Yeah.
If we return to our purchase, so he made a purchase example, purchase order example, we can see a few predecessors in evidence. A purchase order is a document of the decision by the buyer to purchase items from a seller. So an example of a purchase order would be you have a buyer, you have a seller, and you have the product inside of it, right? So those are the entities you need for a purchase order in this example.
Mm-hmm.
The purchase order is a fact, and it is a historical record that documents a decision. It is immutable. Neither party can change the purchase order itself. They can only amend to the document with one another. The purchase order fact refers to a few other facts that came before. It refers to the buyer and the seller as distinct legal entities. These entities were created with their own set of historical facts, so they have their own stuff like people filled forms and went to regulation, like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then he makes a graph out of them.
Could you
So,
share the link of that?
oh,
Because
it's a
I'm.
book actually.
Oh, it's the Kafka book.
No, it's the Michael Paris book.
Oh,
I'll share the book.
it's Michael Perry's book. Okay, let me check that out.
This is totally not piracy, by the way. Totally not piracy because I have the book
I believe you.
here. So it defines a graph like buyer, seller, product, purchase order.
Mm-hmm.
And then he defines like all this stuff, blah blah blah, and then he defines this precedence like you need a buyer, you need a seller, a product, depends on the seller, in the context of a purchase order, and then an invoice is generated out of this. So this is the graph, right, that you need.
Yeah.
And then he defines an immutable graph, which is basically like an event, a historical fact is immutable. But unlike an event, a fact refers to its predecessors. Taken together, these properties have interesting consequences. The predecessors to which a fact refers to are themselves immutable facts. Those facts can in turn have predecessors. This produces a structure known as a directed graph. Each vertex in this structure is a fact. So, okay. And each edge is a predecessor relationship. So he's defining relations, right? So this guy here, chat room project planning. So there is a message in that place, and then it was made by who? So this person. And I got a reaction from, I don't know, this person. Well, depends on the direction you're looking here. Whatever. Here. Since a fact refers to its predecessors, and a fact is immutable, it follows that a predecessor cannot be added to an existing fact. The predecessor relationship is part of the fact.
Sure.
And the fact cannot be modified. And so while it is possible to add successors to effect, it is not possible to add predecessors.
Yeah,
This
once
is
written in
this is
history,
in
it's done,
keeping.
right?
Mhm. This is in keeping with our use of predecessor relationship to define what comes before in a partial order. All predecessors must be known facts uh, recorded before the new one. So this is to ensure consistency. Essentially, things need to make sense to this scale of things.
Yeah. Okay,
Uh,
that was a good review of partial and total order.
and then he defines like some other stuff here. So this part is pretty good to read, I think. Yeah, and then he tells like how do you should model like
Okay,
stuff.
I'm gonna find the
I
book
think this
here.
part is already cringe, so I don't recommend it. But the other part is
Immutable
okay. So let's try to do something that has some shame to it.
architecture.
And let me just go to the bathroom real quick. Just give me a sec. And go think of how to design these lemons. You can join here.
Simple task. Just think how to
Simple
design it.
task. Yeah, think of how to design this. Simple task. Be right back.
Okay. Marinho.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was kind of thinking that we would make the layer that Margeta was talking about as the zookeeper, and the zookeeper would have access to communication to all the brokers, and the
Yeah.
brokers would never actually talk to each other directly. They would always have to go via the zookeeper.
Okay.
Uh, let's also check if that's the purpose of the zookeeper anyway, because I happen to have the page in which he's talking about the zookeeper. So, okay, so the zookeeper. Okay, while it's written like the following. While the controller is entrusted with key administrative operations, the responsibility for electing a controller lies with another party, zookeeper. So I think this controller selection electing thing, this is basically like the general problem of the raft protocol or whatever. So
General
zookeeper
Byzantine
is
general.
itself a cluster of cooperating processes called an ensemble. Every broker node will register its intent with zookeeper, but only one will be elected as the controller. Wait, so the brokers
There is
they
one master node, right?
oh. Oh, so then we need the zookeeper then. It's not optional.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. We're doing one like that.
Okay, so I was talking to Marinho, and I think we should do the zookeeper as the communication layer for all the brokers.
Okay, but what we do here? Like I can define the structure, but what else?
Okay, so my understanding, my understanding, is that the broker will receive in the server, in its server, it will receive the some address information of which partition of which topic somebody is asking for. That's what I understand the entry point of the broker should do. Do you agree with
I
that?
think we're thinking of how it works instead of how it should work.
How it
And
should?
I yes, think of how it should. How would you do it yourself? What makes sense?
I would do exactly what I described at the first glance.
I wouldn't do a Kafka clone at all, actually.
We still can change it. We can still change it.
No, we should not. We shouldn't change it because first we're trying to making it more interesting, and we found the use cases for it, so that's already enough.
Have we? I don't
Yeah,
know if we.
yeah.
I don't
You
know if there's
you
any
listed one.
sense using a database WAL file, which I don't think we're gonna use, nor it's all of this is needed. So makes me question.
Wait. So if we're not gonna do the use case that you said, we should do it then. So let's add the stuff. Uh, that
What
is
about
needed
we
to make
try
that
to
happen.
implement something like, I'm thinking here, something like transaction.
What do
Because
you
like
mean?
Kafka doesn't have it, right? Like you can't make a transaction. I mean, you can have idempotency, like on the newest version, you do have that. And it does have a guarantee called write at least once. But I'm not sure a transaction would make sense because it would mean that you are performing multiple actions at the same time, right?
Hmm.
Because here's the problem that here okay, here's something that would make it useful. Uh, Imagine a racket tower. We have like a begin block. I'll write my GetQL now. We have this, and my syntax was something like this:
Wait,
person
I think your screen is
account.
frozen.
Is it frozen?
Yeah, because we are still looking at broker.sml.
Marvelous.
That was a great word choice. Marvelous. Yeah, now we
There
see.
we go. So
I've
my
heard from
syntax was
both guys.
horrible, but it was something like this: lock, read, and then I don't know, select. Actually, project, and then it was something like uh, account number, select. Oh, account number, person. I think from. I don't recall. Select. I don't know. ID equals, yeah, ID equals one. I don't know. And then lock, right, and then you have like an update, let's say, whatever, and it's updating based on this account number. Okay, so just imagine. La, la, la. So what's the problem here to make this transaction block? We need to lock. We need to have the knowledge to lock just this, right? We can't allow anybody else to. Well, it depends on your isolation level, right? But in what Postgres calls like serializable, for example, it will try to write down a series of stuff and execute things in a sequence to ensure transaction. This is the most strong transaction, but it solves all the problems.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it gets a little slower to do a couple of stuff, but it does ensure like that you don't get phantom deletes, like dirty reads, that kind of stuff that you can have. So think of this. Uh, Suppose that the syntax here says that this guy goes here. Okay, so it's reading this guy and then it's going to this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one is locked to read and the other is locked to write. So if it is even smarter, it could be without, right? Something like this, whatever. So it's picking from this and inserting there. So it is a both read and write operation, right? So it has to lock on both in this case. Uh, what we need to do on Rocket Tower is have this knowledge that we need to lock on both, given the context, right, of the operations we're doing. So that's the task of the planner. And then in here, we would allow to block the entity, the a consumer. In this case, would be a producer, right? A producer from writing a new entity on this queue, which would be our wall file, which is where we are committing stuff. You see?
Oh. And the consumer will be the read?
The consumer would be the, well, not this read, right? It would be like when. So here's the thing: the consumer in this case is the database in itself because it would consume the WAL file to derive the state of the world for the database.
Ah, that's fancy. Wait, let me see if I understood. So, uh, a transaction would produce some sort of a request for this SML thing, and this would uh, and the consumer of that is also the database.
So the producer, yeah, both the producer and consumer, right? In that case, but in that case, it could be any database, right? You could
Any
have
database for
multiple
which
racket
role?
towers. So what I'm trying to say is, you could have multiple racket towers as long as they
Mm.
communicate with this sole entity that ensures that there is some total ordering across the things. You see.
Mm-hmm.
So if they are totally ordered, then you have certainty that a certain operation happened before another, right?
Ah. Okay, so I think that's the milestone. That's the goal. Achieve
I think that's a
that point.
good goal. Yeah, I think that's a good goal. We just need to think of what to do here because it's not going to be the same thing as what Kafka does.
No, but at
Uh,
the point that we have a more specific goal, which is this one, we can just remove abstractions that are not necessary for our case.
so okay, let's think of the features here we need to support this. A transaction block, right? We will need to ensure that
Wait,
it blocks.
before we go to the details, I would like to make a scenario so we see step by step of what should happen and where each part participates in the process. Do you agree?
I don't know what you mean by that, but
Okay, so scenario one, Racket Tower makes a transaction. That's step one. Step two, what would that be?
yeah. So that's what I was trying to explain. Uh, what do I think we need to ensure? We need to lock, like, think of the file, right? The architecture would be, you have this central commit entity, which Postgres calls wall, like this, that keeps a record of everything that occurred on the database. Like, you do an update, it goes here. Like, every time you do a commit, it goes to this guy. So update commit goes here. Insert commit goes here. Select commit goes here. Oh, but select doesn't do anything. It goes here. Doesn't matter. It's a log of everything that happened, right, on the history. And then what people do is that they use CDC to basically recompose the database somewhere else without using replication. Uh, to capture the changes, the events that are happening on the database in real time, to send them to a program, let's say, so they can push it somewhere else or do reactive code, something like this. In this way, if Racket Tower is connected to one end, uh, and it needs to perform this here, which is both an update, both a write and a read at the same time, it would lock the disk for us. It would write the binary from an offset to a end of an offset, grab it, right? You just pass, give me, like, we can make this, give me the key and the, like, given this range here on the disk, on this file, give me from X to Y. So it just cuts the binary and gives you. And then on the update, it's the reverse, right? You just say, write this binary from this to this, and then it will write it. It will snap it on the file. And then it handles all the trouble to handle this in multiple servers with like Raft, and we can implement whatever we want.
Okay, so you're basically the proposal is to make uh, I'm not gonna call it any more Kafka clone, but would make some sort of distributed uh, layer that would take care of the locking for a distributed database,
Of the synchronization, I would say.
a synchronization.
Yeah,
Yeah,
synchronization is a
synchronization
better
calls
word.
what ceremony?
Synchronization is a better word for what we're actually doing, because the fundamental issue is we have multiple machines potentially looking at the same data universe, and we have to make sure that they share a consistent view between each other.
That's what
And
I'm
to do
understanding
that,
Maget is proposing as well.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yes, and to do that, I think a better word than locking is literally synchronization, because that's kind of what we're trying to accomplish, right? They sort of see the same thing.
Oh, okay. So this is related to what I asked earlier. So this is
Locking
this
is a
is
necessity of that, right? So you can modify things in orderly.
yeah. Okay. Okay, so now the question is, what do we need in order to make this work? Do we need a parser?
Oh man, please no. I hope not.
I think we do though. No, no, wait.
No,
That's
no, no. We don't. We don't. We don't need a parser.
no. We need a
All we are
parser,
doing,
but not in SML. We need
why?
somebody to make a payload with the important information out of these MagetaQL
Oh, that's
commands.
Bracket Tower, man. Like it's not the job of this guy.
Yeah, no, I understand it's not the job of this guy, but somebody needs to do it. That's my point.
Okay, I kind of already have this in place on mine. So if we want to make a test, I can implement a link here. But okay, let's see. I already have this syntax implemented. That's what I say.
Yeah, okay.
Uh,
No, I can
okay,
parse
so
that with Marine. That's fine.
the problem is not parsing, man. The problem is you defining the graph on this because you need to know what you're doing on each operation, and you
Yeah,
need
you
to
need to
select
add
stuff.
some like this is a read, this is a write.
And not only that, but convert this guy.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite a
Uh,
parser actually. But okay, so what do we need to make this happen? We need a layer that will do the raft thing, right? So maybe we should do that first. We should implement raft here.
I'm kind of avoiding. I want to avoid doing that first, and I want to do everything monothreaded because
Uh,
then we test the idea instead of doing a expensive algorithm from the get go.
okay. So then we need a server.
I think before that I would just write uh whatever. Now, get and set are terrible names, right? But I'll use them. Uh,
That was
so
great.
fun get and then you pass initial
That
offset.
is actually a great name for a data structure, but it's a terrible name for an operation.
Well, c'est la vie. Uh, so we're gonna read IO
So what is the purpose of this get function?
to read the part from the disk. I think it's file.
Wait a moment. This guy needs to
Oh, it's
read from the
down.
persisted database?
Oh, it's just a reading a file, right? So it's just gonna receive a file path and then it goes there and
Oh, but
read it.
the contents of this file is the data?
Yes,
Ooh,
that's the whole point.
that's
Like,
another parser.
no,
Yeah,
what man? Why would that be a parser? That's literally just reading bytes from one place and
yeah.
jamming them in another place.
You're reading bytes in a special format in a specific order. I know that for a fact.
Oh, I know because our bytes stored they are different bytes. Like they are innovative bytes. Oh, but that's a problem for Racket Towers too. Like you're still writing bytes. You just need to know where to start and where to end. That's Racket Towers' problem.
Yeah, and that's done,
I
to be
don't care.
fair. That's done.
How do I get the? I don't know what's the thing to get. Isn't that IO? Like, what do I get through? I want to text the disk. Text IO. Oh, okay. Bing. I saw Bing. Bing IO. Open. Opening. What do I do with you?
You pass a
String.
string and it returns you a
Ice cream.
binio
Okay.
ing string.
So vol. Let vol. Uh,
What is the difference
In
here again? I already forgot. Do you remember, Marinho? When do you use the vol or no? Inside a function, you always need the let, right?
yes, it's to bind the
Yeah,
scope on stuff.
yeah,
You can
yeah,
put like vol. You can vol is just variables. Fun is a function, so you can do this, and then you would just have whatever here. And why is it complaining here? Expected end. Oh, because of this in requires an end. And what's the issue, my friend? Tell me. Inused variable. Yeah, who cares?
yeah.
So
Wait, but is
okay, so
this
I
in
have this
stream
thing.
like a file descriptor?
Yes.
So how do you read stuff
So
from it?
that's what I want to know. So we get the bytes
I just had a
B.
very silly idea.
Oh yeah, which
Let
is?
tell us.
You should make a Super Mario Brothers clone in SML, and then SML you could make a valid case that it stands for Super Mario language because the language in which a version of Super Mario Brothers was implemented.
Super Mario
Terrible.
Land. Stuff like that. Super Mario Land SML edition. That sounds kind of redundant, doesn't it? Input string attempts to read from blah blah blah, starting from the current input file position.
That seems like what we want.
Yes, but I want to change the file position then. What do I do? I
Oh, it's
need like
probably
a
set.
seek.
There's a set. No, no, no. Go all the way down there. Aha.
Right.
That's a
So
weird type signature.
that's taking a tuple in string. I don't
I
think that's doing what we are
yeah, I
expected
think we
to.
should read again because I think I may be mistaken. This is not what we want. And seek, Nathan, is this is how C people call when you move a file descriptor like a to a specific position. We call this seek. Well, they call it seek. Sets the current position of the string to be pos. Yeah, this seems to be bad. This seems to be the
Yeah,
one.
but it's an out string, not a not an in string. You see,
That's bad.
I wanted a pause, set pause out. Like I don't want that. I want set pause in. Like I want to read
Imagine
from
that
this point.
they. Oh, we forgot.
Oh, sorry, we forgot about that.
We forgot. Uh, PolyML. I don't know. Tutorial. Is
Probably the
the
name
Hopper
is just
book in
different.
Poly?
What? Sorry.
The book that you shared last time. Is
Mm-hmm.
that in Poly?
No, that's just the standard. So it's
Ooh.
everyone has the same.
Okay, so that's amusing.
Ah, I don't know how to get it.
I'm
I
wondering
never
if there
needed
is
to
a
do
way to
this.
get it now. Like, and what's
Opening.
like comical is the fact that Poly markets itself having a bunch of stuff. I don't know that we saw before, but it doesn't have a way to move the file descriptor of an input file descriptor. Come on.
I mean, it depends on what the semantics are that they are implementing here. If it's literally making it look like a linked list, then it doesn't actually make sense because it presumes that you know the global address of some position that you are reading, right? But if the interface is meant to be similar to a linked list, then you actually don't know the global position. You only know the current position. And offsets relative to that current position.
Yeah.
I don't
Okay.
seem to find it.
Can we know what is this type in stream? We don't have access to the source code in this thing, right? I believe.
Oh, you do, I guess, but no, you can't. I mean, you do if you go to the website and then you go to the source code. But I don't think that's the point. Like, this being here doesn't matter. Like, you don't have attributes or anything we can access. It's all
Yeah,
by the
but we need to
module.
discover how to move the freaking position, bro.
They're expecting me to read everything just to get the last thing I'll
Lol.
screen.
Just for lols, apparently. Imagine that conversation. Bro, we just made a set pos out. Shouldn't we make a set pos in? And the other guy, nah,
Yeah, no
nobody
one
would
did
ever
that.
write a database in this thing.
Why would somebody write anything at all on this? I don't get it. Yeah, sure, quite right. Quite right.
File pos in, what is that?
Set pos out.
What is file pos in?
Uh,
Ah,
uh,
no, it's worse. Okay.
get reader. And then we get a Bing Pring IO reader. Oh man, we've entered the typing hell now.
Well, if it works, it works, I guess. Okay, but it returns a tuple though. It returns a vector of word 8s. Is this already reading the crap?
I think it's a string to start reading, but if it no, that doesn't make sense. It's a vector already. It makes no sense.
So it seems that it's already
What the
reading.
heck is this Bing Pring IO? Let's see. The primitive I/O functions at the lowest level of the stack. They provide access to the underlying readers and writers. So I suppose that's it. You need to open an int string, and then you need to do string I/O. I think I can do this without this. Yeah, make a int string. So I pass bytes. Oh, sorry, int string.
uh, I think this is creating an empty im stream. No, there's something written in there. Wait.
Wow, look at this error.
Incompatible. These with these are different type constructors. Oh wow, that's bad.
That's
It's
terrible.
amazing.
We
That's
need
what
to
I told about
find.
the tooling.
Uh, we need to find like read file or something. Oh, here,
It's
Stack
like
Overflow post. Thank you.
it's like whoever wrote that tooltip was in a competition, try to come up with precisely the least helpful tooltip that still contains some information that's
Let's
pertinent to
see,
the
how can
error.
I make worse than closure? Like this.
That's hilarious.
Uh, okay, so that's not it apparently.
Okay, we should try to ask another question. Is this possible? Like, there's no way. This thing has sockets. How can it not have open files?
Why does it give me the same type?
Because the type says that if you give one, I'm gonna give you another one. That's the type.
Yes, I know, but why?
Well, let's read. Returns the current version of the underlying functional input stream. It is possible to get input directly from the underlying functional stream. The previous input will be read again when reading from the next time.
I can't read this. I am
Okay,
not
so
that
it's not
smart, I
only the
suppose.
type errors. Not all the docs are worth it.
Are useful. That's a terrific good start.
Terrific.
Uh,
uh,
Okay.
No, I will never ever unsee the antenna in Nathan's profile picture.
That's true, right?
Oh man, I'll never unsee that too. Looks like the Teletubbies. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh boy. And there is no like code to find on the internet about this.
That's. I mean, there's probably some out there.
Uh,
There's
okay, I
probably
think
some,
I
and I think I
found I
restarted
think
them
I
now.
found the source code of Poly. So let's see.
Are you assuming this is gonna help on anything?
Uh, maybe, just maybe. The problem is that this is I still
Okay,
can't,
man. I know how to use the.
you know?
No, I'm saying like I know how to use this other garbage, but that's not what I want. So apparently on New Jersey, I don't know what this guy's using, or if it was an older standard. There was this and this, but apparently disappeared, so I don't know what to do.
Can we try bin prim IO instead of bin IO?
Suck.
Can we try that?
Well, I don't even know what being preen IO does.
Well, we're gonna discover reading it. No, it's the prim comes before, yeah.
Are we?
Yeah, theoretically. Uh, augment. We don't want to augment stuff.
Don't even know what that is, man.
Yeah. So,
Ah, and I'm getting sleepy. How
what
amazing.
about a Melton? Does a Melton fix this?
I don't think it's the problem of the poly.
I. Okay, a Melton read from a file.
And
Uh,
I want.
oh, the documentation is miles better, man, in a Melton. Jeez. Read the documentation. So we don't want fancy stuff. We don't want the
Ah, hell yeah,
XFI.
man.
We don't want. Uh, we want like IO. How do I search for that? Basic library.
My friend, I just want to read. Can't I do that?
And there is absolutely no material of this on the internet. How cool. How freaking cool.
Ah, man, I think I would just try to hammer whatever here. So
What do you mean hammer?
I'll try my best. So this, whenever I face this, I stop reading documentation and I just try to do anything. Event reader.
A partner. How are you gonna do that if there's not a function? Tell me how.
Let me see on the standard library. There is the other thing. Which is not helpful at all. Okay, so whatever. Let me. So I think this takes this and it returns a tuple.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Let's split this tuple into
Into two things.
I suppose the first is the reader, the second doesn't matter. Just a
Oh, it
random
says
vector.
strict language. I think it matters. Reading a petabyte.
Whatever. No, whatever.
Okay.
And then inside of this reader. Oh, here it is. I got it.
You got it?
Yes, because you see this guy. This let's pattern match this. Do you remember this? Look at the type. That's a Beam pre-IO reader. So this, uh, and then here we have what? I don't
Wait,
remember.
so this is a record.
And pause, set pause. It is there. So it's a function.
Oh, okay, so it's really,
Set
really hidden.
pause. Why would they do this way? I don't know. Set
What
pause.
is the sum in caps there?
It's well, some.
Oh,
It's
so
adjust.
the sum is just like everything in caps. Okay.
Yeah. It's some or none, like this. Okay, so with that, we can settle with position. Set pause, initial offset.
You wrote set post, friend.
This, and I suppose this is meets this. No? Oh, it's the last expression, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so size. Now we should read that guy. So, do we have on this? It's just it's just S that I have to do this,
You need to pass a position.int to the set pos apparently.
which I did.
Yeah. But what is
And then I
missing
need
then?
the horrible syntax that I hate. Is this? And then I need to do open also. Well, read from here. How do I read is a good question now. I think it's just gonna be
Probably
input
there is in the record. You probably can.
b
There's something there.
io. I think it was input n. Read the most n elements from the string, blah blah. Yeah, at most. So it will read whatever it can.
No, but you need to pass a
So,
tuple, no?
well, I suppose so.
So you need to pass the in string and the in the size.
I don't know.
And that I don't remember what that returns.
Well, bytes, I suppose.
uh, sure.
A vector, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so this is right. Why is this shit position integer? No.
Because that's the type that set pos is expecting.
Why would they do that?
You are asking the wrong
What
person,
what is
friend.
it special about position integer?
Converts from the default
Raises
integer type.
converts from the type default.
Maybe this is because of architectural differences or whatever. Maybe.
I don't care. I just know that I don't. I shouldn't care about this. Done. So
Okay.
this is it. So homework for you, Lemos. Implement the set of this. I'll be right back. I'll have dinner.
Set.
Have a
Okay.
nice dinner.
Uh, so let's go, Marinho. I'm gonna remove my screen from the stream for a moment. Just for the sake of opening VS Code. Uh, where is the link? Here. Copy link. Live share. Okay, you ready, Marinho?
I think I am.
Think
Maybe.
you are. Okay, maybe. Just
Possibly.
maybe. Okay,
Hopefully.
hopefully. Yeah. Okay, so I don't have syntax highlighting for some reason, which is weird. I think this was working before, but who needs that? So what our set function should do, Marinho?
Um, well, let's see. It should. What should it do? It should take.
I think it needs to do something like entity, uh, position, new entity. What do you think of that? Well, that's actually not a new entity. This should be like a payload that you're gonna set at this position when reading this entity. Does that make sense?
It does. Are we going to do any kind of validation on the size of the payload relative
Yeah,
to
no, as
the...
you can see, if this fails, we are screwed.
Okay.
That's a genuine Magetta style of coding. Uh, so my understanding is that we're gonna have something like an outstream, which is bin.io. Oh, I do have LSP though. Open out entity, right? Then we're gonna do something really, really similar to what the heck he's doing here. Oops, there. But instead of getting a reader, get writer. And can I see? Yes, I can. I don't have highlighting, but I do have the LSP. This is so weird. So
It
we
is
need to
weird.
pass an outstream to it. What is the reader needs to receive? It needs to receive an in stream. Okay. So I'm gonna pass bin.io get outstream, outstream, and then we're gonna do set pos position from int position, um, and then finally bin.io output. Ooh, but I don't have the descriptions, so I don't know what these do. Cool.
That, that is very sad.
Oh, but they also have a set position out. Hmm. Well, I'm gonna do the way that Magetta did for the other one though. So output. I can't. Oh no, I can. Okay. So the output, this one that I'm showing right now, attempts to write the contents of vec to the stream starting from the current output file position. It may block until the underlying layers can accept all of the vector. It may raise an exception in I/O. In that case, it is unspecified how much of the vector. What? If you have an exception, it is unspecified how much of the vector was actually written.
Well, yes, because if you fail while writing, basically you can fail at any point while you are writing, and the exception doesn't tell you where it happened, just that it did.
And it's also asking to write the payload. So payload. Is that it?
I guess. Seems reasonable, at least.
Oh, wait a moment though. I think this is not RD. Yeah, this is for reading stuff. We don't want to read stuff. We want to break stuff, so we need to write it. And I can't see the... Oh man, it's not showing me. It's not showing me what is in the record. I'm so sad. I'm gonna have to read this paragraph of text to know what comes in the record. One moment, please. Oh, but it does have set pos, which is what matters. So this should be it, right? So let me see the type signature in what Magenta is sharing. So the entity is a string. We have a position, we have a payload. We generate the file descriptor of the thing. Then we do the very cringe acquiring the set position function. Then we set the position to position, and then we write it. That's it. I think we did it. I think we did it. Magetta will be proud.
Amazing.
But I'm actually confused. Why do you think Magetta wants to do this data structure though?
Um, this is probably just a low-level interface that we're going to use to actually manipulate the data that we have in storage.
Oh. But wait a moment. So, do you see what Magetta is doing? He's putting a lot of the burden of calculating a bunch of stuff in Racket Tower, you see? Like, how do you know the initial offset and the position? You don't.
But that's kind of the point, because Racket Tower is the layer that actually knows what the data means.
No, I understand that. I understand that. But uh, the that's adding extra amount of work for us in Racket.
I don't see the problem.
Well, a lot of the things that I think we're gonna assume that we're gonna have to make it from scratch because we don't have them yet. For instance, we don't have a query language.
Why should this broker care about query languages?
You're getting it wrong. Uh, Nothing that I'm saying here right now is the responsibility of Canteen. It's not gonna care, and that's fine. The problem is that somebody needs to care, and that other somebody is us again. Do you see?
Yeah, but it's Futurus. Futurus
Ah,
can deal with
screw
that.
screw those guys
By the
then.
way, you're missing an end after the function definition.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Thank you. Thank you. And there. Oh, but now it's not type checking. Amazing. So what's wrong with that? What's wrong? Let's see what is the return of get writer. It returns a tuple as expected. And what is the
That
problem?
moment where you're watching Lemons watch Magetta.
That moment. Oh, it's non-exhaustive apparently. Why the other one is exhaustive though? That doesn't make any sense. Why this one is not uh, what? Exhaustive binding. Missing all of this nonsense here. But I don't care about them. Why do I need
What's
to care?
going on?
Okay,
Hello, Magetta.
So you're writing.
I tried my best,
Yeah, that line is broken.
but it's complaining about
Yeah, I can
exhaustiveness.
see non-exhaustive.
I don't understand why it's not complaining about the first one, but it is complaining about the second. Weird.
Initially, I thought it would be because of this, like this being possibly optional. But
But
if
it
that was the
is.
case, the first one, well, the first one is not exhaustive either.
Yeah, no, but if you take a look on the error message, look at what is asking for. It is saying missing that, and that is with a none in a block, apparently. But I don't care about the block. I don't understand why it's complaining about that. Maybe because this one can fail and the other one doesn't? So maybe it's saying that the set pause may be none? Hmm.
That doesn't seem to be the case.
No, no, no. You're putting the block as none. I'm asking if maybe the set pause can be none.
Yes, which I don't think it is.
Well, in that case, I have no idea what the
I'm
heck
just
is.
putting because it's recommending missing blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Why is it missing all of these?
That was good. It is still
And it's
complaining.
still not complete.
Yep. But what is complaining about now?
Oh, same thing.
No, now it's complaining that the block can have a sum. It's different.
So it is the block. Oh man, I don't care for this damn block, dude.
Yeah, I don't
That's the
understand.
problem.
Look. What the heck, friend? Weird. But everything else should be
Ah man,
working.
like whatever. Let me just do this. And I think it was this, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you need a delimit? Yeah, delimiter. Yeah, but now it's not exhaustive again, I think.
Yes, I know. We're just gonna add a wildcard there, but I don't remember the syntax for that. For the case, if
Oh,
this
I
is
can
all
check that out.
correct.
1 second. Hey. Yo.
I remember needing this.
I will be right back.
Okay, so let's search how to do the pattern matching. So pattern matching SML. Pattern matching SML. Thank you very much. So it's case off, and then you use the pipes. We need the pipes, I think.
On the second, not on the first.
That's true.
Right, so now it's complaining about that. So I think now if we put
Wild card.
whatever and tell
Yeah.
it to fuck off.
No, but that's not gonna work because one is returning unit and the other one is returning none.
Let me do this.
What a sin! Oh my god. It gets worse.
It's a unit option. Amazing. Um,
Just return unit in both, dude. Come on.
well, but you need to identify that in one case you couldn't, right? Be
Um,
it for whatever reason. So I think we better just do a.
a sum of a unit. Oh my god, you need to see this. Holy. Ah, yeah, we should have a string in there. Hilarious.
We can launch an exception here too.
No, because this is gonna run on a server, so we should never throw exceptions aside from when we
Exceptions
need to
here,
do
they
a
are
try
not the
catch.
same as the exceptions you're aware of, by the way.
Oh, but so you can catch them easily?
Well, you catch them like this. Let me show you. Get it here.
Hilarious.
Ah man, dude, why I can't search stuff when we are live? Like when I'm online, I find all this stuff like very easily. It's just whenever I am on a session. It's very impressive.
uh,
And I'm back in black, except I'm
you
actually wearing
lost
blue
it. You
today.
lost the moment, Marinho.
Which moment?
So, uh, we discovered how to do the pattern matching, and then Mageta did the line 30 there, and then line 30, it was he wanted to return none, right? But the return of the other branch was unit. Guess what he did?
I have no idea what he did.
Okay, so you don't have
Good.
any guesses. Ah, bro. Ah, he wrapped the unit in a sum. Ah, that was hilarious.
Isn't that the same thing that he complains about? Yeah,
Yeah, but that was so good. So good. So how do you cache the stuff?
Let's suppose you have another function here, like fun handle data. Uh, you write your function normally, like for example, you do a call, like data dot set, and then you pass the stuff like abc, then a integer. All right, you need to pass the vector. So I don't know, 0, and then the word 8 vector tabulate.
What in the balls is that?
And if a sec. Um, well, it's just gonna do what? Do a word 8. So I'm just feeling with garbage, basically. I always forget what's the appropriate thing here, to be honest.
Oh, for
Oh,
the.
it's FN.
Oh wow. Why?
I don't know. Don't ask me. Do not ask questions, Lemusan. Do not ask
Weird.
questions.
Why do you need the zero there?
This is the this
Oh,
argument,
this is
right?
the position. I forgot. Okay.
Mhm. So to handle an exception, you do by the end uh, of the thing. Like let's suppose you finish writing, right? You just do handle and then exception, and then you do whatever you want with it, like
Can you rethrow
print.
it?
You can. I mean, if you just don't do anything if that's the case, right?
Okay, so for now, let's not do that. Let's just allow the exception to bubble up.
I'll just print it for now. Um. Well, we better pattern match it.
For one moment, I thought you could pattern match the string.
Well, you can.
You can. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
why wouldn't you be able to?
There's something about these pattern matching on strings that I always get confused.
Yeah,
Incompatible
now that
types is not a function but a vector. What? Is a constructor type expected an integer to a blah 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 vector.
What tabulate expects
Oh, that I see. So I thought it was constructing element by element, but apparently,
is losing Haskell powers. No, no, no. But I'm being serious, Nathan. There is something about pattern matching strings that I always get confused. Always.
why would it be any difference from pattern matching any other constants?
I'm not gonna remember right now what it was. It's a tuple, Magita.
what?
It's a tuple, bro.
Oh, tabulate? No, wait, tabulate. Oh, it takes a tuple.
Yeah.
Pesky garbage.
No, but it's the opposite, friend. The number comes first.
Why is it not complaining though?
Because you have unmatching parents. You are missing parentheses.
That is true.
And
Can be simplified to F.
what?
Ah, kill me. Right, I can simplify it like this.
Oh, okay. That's way better.
Okay, so it's probably gonna explode if I do this. Handle all the right data.
Read. Yeah, but the gets
So we pick
they are
what?
different. So you pass the string, you pass two
String,
numbers,
offset, and the thing.
position. No, I don't remember what
So
is the
we're
second
writing
number.
10.
Oh, you're writing 10. Okay.
So that's it. Let me pass TMP. Let me see if I already have something that I wrote.
We're
I
gonna have
do.
to do the math. Yeah, Marinho, we're gonna have to do the math in the record tower to know what to pass to this guy.
I'll try to read first. I'll pick just one
But it's
integer
very
because I'm
cool the
sure.
fact that the SML layer doesn't have to know what the shit is happening with the bytes. It's just like, here's the garbage. Treat it. It's your fault. You asked for it.
Amazing.
Okay. So
Wait,
print.
so then we could do perplex and Raketower.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's super cool though. I
Like
like it.
it's totally agnostic, right? It doesn't matter. I think it is make string. And then here we do print. Yes, I know, but this does exist. Trust me.
Trust me, bro. Uh,
Pattern is non-exhaustive, but that's a warning.
that's
Fonts near, blah blah blah.
that's the most Magetta warning I have ever seen. Patterns not exhaustive.
Oh, I forgot about the poly ML. If you look at my code, most of the patterns are like this. Uh,
Yeah, I know you very well,
error value
Magetta.
constructor. Oh, I think it's without this. Yeah. So from list, he printed a garbage. It's there. I think we should convert this guy to a list.
What's the name of this thing? It's like a database distributed layer. Is that the correct nomenclature?
I don't even know, man.
Oh,
I call it banana layer.
okay.
That's what it is, a banana layer.
Marinho, thoughts?
It's a thing. It's definitely a thing.
Oh,
It's
for sure.
it's a thing. It's a banana layer, man. I'm telling you. Okay, so well, it's reading this, which is not useful. I don't know if it's actually reading anything from the file or not. So let me try a
Can you
non-binary
cat the
file.
file again?
Yeah, it's just garbage, right?
No, you know,
So
but could
this.
you do you have a special cat that shows the
I have
bytes?
Emacs, but let me just write text. It doesn't matter. ABC. So nanu ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, let me type ABC, right? Because A B C D E F G. What's the next letter,
Because
Levels? Doesn't matter. I'll just put this. And I'll read less. I'll read 5. I don't know if it's reading bytes though. I'll read 1.
and
Let's be
the
conservative.
path is wrong, friend.
I know, man.
ABC and nope.
It's not reading. I blame you, Lemos, on the function that I wrote.
Yes, I just noticed that is the get.
And notice how it is complaining about this line. So it is also incomplete. I don't know why it was not complaining about this. Like, what?
Oh yeah, that's weird.
Hmm, that's very strange because hmm,
But
yeah, we gotta
how?
take care of this as well. A lot of functions they rise this, you see?
Mhm. Yeah, but how are we gonna debug this? Because which point here could go wrong? Could have gone wrong.
What do you mean? Which point here?
Well, because we have various points of failure. We have line 18, 19, 21, and 22. At least one of them is wrong.
Yes, I don't think it's this. I forgot that I can't do this.
Yeah.
Just give me a sec.
I wonder if the path is wrong. Have you tried removing the dot slash?
Wait just a sec. What is it?
Yeah, so before we do that, could you go back to the entry point and instead of doing dot slash ABC, just put ABC
Just
there.
one, just one thing. What if I put like Bazinga? Anything. Okay, so it does identify the file.
Yeah, but that's bad, no?
Found. Wait, it didn't print anything, right? In this case,
Yeah, but it is also, it should
because
not.
we're not handling the exception. Ha 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 ha. Ooh, hoo, hoo,
Ah.
hoo. Yeehaw.
What was that?
It's a cowboy. That's, don't you know? Yeehaw.
Oh, that's bad. IO.io.
IO with the lowercase is the expression, right? It's the exception. E why you comprando, brother?
Incompatible.
What? All right, because now this guy cannot be empty, right? So both need to be the same if you're gonna handle the exception.
Ah,
So, well, I'll just
sure.
print. I just want to print this, and end is near, and so I face the final curtain. Okay, so this, and then here, let me do this. I'm not crazy. Ah,
Struggling.
this, and then and then here I will spit a word 8 vector from list, and then it's gonna be this empty.
I see. Uh,
Actually, let me put 1 here. Although word 8 from int 10. Let me put this in just in case you see here if it's not the display that is incorrect.
oh.
Yeah, look at that.
No such
So
file
it's saying.
directory.
So it is right.
Okay, so
ABC.
no, but I think it's gonna fail anyway. Oh no, we
No,
didn't. What?
because
Okay.
I'm running from this directory, not running from the Nix directory.
No, yeah. But I was wondering if SML was clever enough to understand what dot slash means.
If
Uh.
you said that, but in Okamo, people would probably go with torches to your house. I say Okamo is not smart enough.
Okay, can you go back to the code so we know line 18 is not the problem?
Yeah.
So it could be line 19 or 22. It could be those. I'm gonna bet on line 19.
I guess it's, well, 20, right? I
Sure.
guess.
Yeah, but in that case, what do we
But
do?
still, like, the problem would be here. Like, it makes no sense to me.
I have a question. Why do we
Input.
need the function get iStream in stream? Why do we need that?
Because of that bizarre error. If I just put this, somehow those two types are different, although they're the same thing.
Ah.
So I
Oh.
think there's some overload on the module for both, and
Ooh, that's
they are
bad.
incompatible. But it doesn't tell me, right? I just
That's really
okay. Let
bad.
me do an input all. So get me everything. What happens? Yeah, size is useless. I don't care. Nothing. So it doesn't read at all.
By the way, I just
Man,
realized that type error that you get where you have two types that look the same but actually aren't. Wouldn't you make an argument that that's a violation of the law of identity?
oh wait.
I would actually argue that that's the problem. That's one of the problems with shadowing.
Well, shadowing at least is controlled and in scope,
At least.
which is which is different than this case.
Yeah, but it's the
Uh,
same nature of having one name for two different things.
That's not what the law of identity is about, though.
Sure, but I'm saying that for me, it reminds me of the shadowing problem. That it reminds me why I don't like it.
It reminds you of why you should learn concatenative programming.
Uh, no, it reminds me that naming matters, and that's it.
No, you should learn concatenative programming because there's no shadowing there, because there are no local variables.
Because there are no names. How to avoid bad naming with no naming at all?
Anyways,
uh,
Okay,
my
so
friend just
Magenta.
tagged me on a. Wait, just a sec. My friend just tagged me on a morning suit that is on
Of
sale.
course he did. I'm gonna finish the recording for today though.